Mike Leary, Austin, Texas.
Mike, first and foremost, let me tell you thank you. This kind of, as we're sitting here reminiscing, reminds us of meeting at the mall. Gosh, I guess it was probably 12 or 13 weeks ago. But I'm glad you made it up here, glad you made it through the process, and very proud to have you as part of the Ames team. Tell me a little bit about your background prior to coming to Ames.
I've been in computer chip sales since 1993, so for the past 14 years, which has given me, I think, a good foundation from a sales standpoint. I've had opportunities to not only be a sales rep, but a sales manager. I've had the opportunity to go to Australia, New Zealand, several countries throughout Europe. I was asked last year to run a sales team, evaluate a sales team in Vienna, Austria, and that was a fantastic experience. I've finished in the top 5 almost every year in the past 14 years. Sales rep of the year 3 different times throughout my career, and I think it's given me a very good foundation for what I'm transitioning into with the medical sales industry.
So you're sitting here working in computer chips, and one day you wake up and you decide, geez, here's Ames. Tell me how you found Ames, and tell me what got you excited to apply for the school.
When I returned from Vienna last year, I had spoken to a few friends that had transitioned from the high-tech industry into medical sales, and they were very passionate about it. They had kind of planted a seed for me. We had several discussions, several lunches. I started to work with recruiters, and the feedback I was getting was that I had a fantastic sales experience. My resume was very impressive, but I didn't have medical sales background. So I went to med reps at least 3 or 4 days a week, spent a good 2 hours on it, contacting recruiters, looking at all the available jobs in Austin and the surrounding area, and then one day I saw the ad for Ames pop up, and I think it was the first or second day because there was only approximately 350 hits, and I think today there's about 18,000.
And we're almost at 20,000, but you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely one of the first, and we appreciate that. So you look at, and at the time, I'm not too sure if we even, well, obviously we had the website, but the website was new at that point in time. Yeah. You obviously had an impression in your mind of what the school was going to be like. All of a sudden, you show up here after the 4 weeks. What was your first impression of the school when you got here?
I knew, just based on the interaction that I had with you and the other instructors within Ames, the 4 weeks of conference calls and the responsiveness, the professionalism, that my expectations were actually pretty high. And I will say that my expectations were met when I got here, just not only with the facility, my new colleagues, my new friends that I have met and spent a lot of time with over the past 4 weeks, that it's not having anything to compare it to. I was impressed with everything.
Perfect, and I'm sure this will be an easy one to answer. Would you say you spent about 40 hours a week while you were here training and working?
I can't say that I was the first one here every day, but I was usually the last one to leave. And the way I've approached this is, if I'm going to be here for the 4 weeks, that I'm going to try to drain my resources. And if you speak with some of the instructors, you'll know what I'm talking about, coming in on weekends even. So I haven't added it all up, but I've probably exceeded the 40-hour.
We're jokingly saying that, of course. I know that from a work standpoint, it's going to be hard to surpass the effort that you guys put here, you in particular. And we are absolutely convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, I would not be surprised if you were the very best guy that came out of Ames Class 1. So congratulations on your work ethic. You did exceptionally well, and we know you do great in the field. If
Thank you.
You received a phone call one day, Mike, and there was a different student saying, hey, Mike, I'm going into the Ames Class 3. Can you give me any tips to help me out as I embark down this new road? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. complete commitment. You know, before I had to have that conversation with myself, as you know, before I came here, and be completely committed to coming, open to the experience. The work that you're given in the first 4 weeks, don't take it lightly. You know, the fact that you're doing it at home, doing it on your own, go above and beyond to kind of set yourself for the path that you're just going to get into some good habits by the time you get here to maximize that opportunity for this 4 weeks that you spend here.
You got a lot of reps you're going to go up against once you get out to the field, and you know, again, we're confident you're going to hammer it home there in Austin. What do you think you're going to rank among your colleagues?
The goal is in my first years is to be rep of the year, and this may be something that every rep has, but I won't be outworked. I know that sounds somewhat generic, but it's a second career for me, and this is something I'm completely committed to, completely passionate about, and so I feel good about my. I want to take market share from current reps that are in my territory. That's the plan, and I got to go get it, you know, one piece at a time.
Well, you know, you've been sales rep the year before. I am convinced that we'll be sitting here someday with Sean, and we're going to show him this video, and you're going to be here again. We appreciate all the time. One last question. Anything in particular that stood out while you're here? Anything that was either fun or different, or you say, gosh, that was a neat experience? Was there one experience that you can remember?
God, that's a tough one experience. I mean, just the one thing, just to back up for a second, was that I was in most suspense about is who am I going to hang out with? Who am I going to spend this 40 plus hours a week with? Where are these people from? What's their background? How are we all going to mesh and learn from each other for the next 4 weeks? That was the anxiety for me coming in, not the anxiety, the unknown, right, which I think is pretty natural. But it was also a level of excitement. In my world, I've worked with the same people. I've only worked for 2 companies for the past 14 years. This was an opportunity to get some feedback and some to see how everybody else has succeeded in sales. And I truly can say that I've been able to take a piece of everybody's success and kind of add it to my toolbox to, I think, you know, make myself a better sales rep moving forward.
Perfect. Well, listen, let's tell you that thank you. We appreciate you giving us a faith. We know that you're going to go out there and absolutely hammer it. I have zero doubts about that. It's been personally nice to have you here. Hopefully we'll stay in touch for years to come and look forward to your successes down the field.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.